Check it out, we rapping for the Texans. Little big in Crenshaw Bridge, we flexing. Houston rap style, we bringing the heat. Talking Texas football, London compete. Got the best podcast, the livest in the game. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Remember the name, we talking draft picks. We talking defense, we break it all down. No nonsense. H-Town with the Run Showdown on the mic, talking Texas football every Wednesday night with special guests dropping knowledge, taking the stage. Oh, diggity Crenshaw Briggs be holding it down in the H-Town, wiping it down, talking touchdowns in H-Town. Houston culture, we holding it down, talking news and rumors, keeping it real. No filter, we got the Texans appeal. A Lone Star City, we're living it up. Talking all things Texas, we can't get enough. From the football field to the concrete jungle, we're ripping H-Town. Ain't nothing humble, bitch.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Texans Fan Battle Podcast, brought to you by Fan Battle Sports. I am your host tonight, Matthew Briggs. And as always, I got me some amazing people with me, my co-host. Tonight, I got Mr. Bo Diggy himself.
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
And always with me, I got the messenger, Mr. Kenneth.
What's good, everybody? What's good, Texans Nation?
And guys, if you listen to the podcast, we know these guys are friends of the show. If you listen to the Any Texans podcast, you know this is the best one. Mr. Coty Davis from Locked On Texans, probably the best one by far. What's going on, brother?
Man, thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you guys for having me, man. I really do appreciate it. Some exciting times here in the city of Houston.
Absolutely. Coty, we know you have you for a short time because, you know, you got to do your podcast as well, so we appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
Before we talk to you about anything else, let's address the elephant in the room. Me and you talked about it in pre-production. Let's talk about this fight. Oh, not fight, but this little scrimmage that was on the field today. You were there. Tell us about it.
It was nothing, plain and simple. I mean, literally what you saw was two sides of the ball, both the offense and the defense. They're competitive, and that's one thing that Coach D'Amico Ryans has talked about time and time again. Every time these players step out here on the practice field, man, they are literally going at one another. Now, what I would say, and it's something that I'm going to discuss on Locked On Texans, so I'm giving y'all a little preview of what we're going to talk about. You know, I would say, this is what. Yes, today was day 6 of Houston Texans training camp, and this is probably the third, maybe the fourth day where I came away saying that the defense was the better side of the ball. Now, that played into it in some, form of fashion. I know a lot of people see, the main video that's going around between Derek Stingley Jr. and Dalton Schultz. However, it kind of started after C.J. Stroud completed a pass to Stephon Diggs, and Jimmy Ward, came down with a little tough hit, just like, oh, okay, what was that about? But, at the end of the day, man, what you guys saw with that fight was literally just, first of all, let me just say the respect is there, but most importantly, the competitiveness is there. And I'm pretty sure by now Dalton Schultz and Derek Stingley Jr. and everybody else in the Texans locker room is probably laughing and whining and listening to the fans, fight. Is there a turmoil? It's nothing like that. I mean, it's competitiveness, and that's what you want to see, especially when you are looking at a team like the Houston Texans. If we're being 100% honest, this is a team that has a chance to represent the AFC in New Orleans come February.
Absolutely. Kenneth, you probably been seeing all of it. Everybody's already blaming Diggs, saying Diggs is a diva. can't have nice things around Diggs. What's your thoughts about this whole ordeal?
Man, first off, let me talk about that. The people that want to come for Diggs and put in the captions that Diggs get into a fight at camp and all that, like stuff is just, we know that's gonna happen, but it's like at the end of the day, it's childish, and we all know it's for the views. But as far as the video, I saw what happened and like the story behind Derek Stingley doing what he did. And I'm not gonna lie, right off the back, I'm like, oh my goodness, come on, Jimmy. Like it kind of made me think about what happened between him and Hopkins. And I'm just like, yo, don't get into it with your teammates. But at the end of the day, I wasn't there, so I don't know. I didn't know the full story. But it turns, I did more research into it and looked at more videos. And basically, it was really, of course, Dalton sticking up for this. It didn't get that much bigger than that. But then I guess it got riled up and Stingley, and Dalton got into it. And definitely wasn't expecting that from Sting. But at the same time, it's kind of like, hey, are we waking up a dog out of Sting? Like, nobody would expect that from Darius Stingley. But at the end of the day, I really just hope. I'm pretty sure it's not that serious. Everybody being competitive as men, you know what I'm saying? When we playing sports, most of us like to talk trash. Most of us are competitive. And it's just the energy is always there. Like just playing pickup basketball. When I play pickup basketball, it's always trash talking, people going at it. And at the end of the day, at the end of the game, hey, good game, bro. Good game. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully it was just that. And yeah, man, I don't think it's that serious. And I hope they squashed it and talked about it in the locker room, like you said.
Absolutely. Well, we know on TikTok you're already talking about it. So what's your thoughts about it, brother?
Yeah, man, just just competitiveness. Everybody just at some point, most NFL players say through training camp, you get tired of going against each other. So things get heated, and it might be a little scuffle here and there. And to be honest, I think that's what coaches really want. At the end of the day, coaches want that energy during training camp, during practice. And sometimes they may be in planning. They be like, yo, Sting, yo, Dalton say you can't cover him. You know what I'm saying? They like, yo, Diggs, they say you can't catch on Kamara. Yeah, you can't catch on Jimmy Ward. So, they try to just, who knows, start a little tension, get the juices flowing, get everybody, going, put on a show for the people that was there for training camp. And it's all good and fun. Like you said, no one wants to get hurt. No one wants to, really throw hands. Just a little, it's hot out there. It's Texas, Houston. It's hot out there. They get a little scuffle. But I think they're cool. I think they made up. It's all good. It's just competition, and Sting just got a little. He went overboard. Just went overboard a little bit, but it's all good.
Well, you kind of have to like it, right? Like you want to see. Of course, you don't want to see them like fight, but you want to see the competitive, right? Like you want to see that will. Like, all right, let's get it going. Especially like if it's a different team, like. Yeah, we saw it last year when the Broncos got into CJ's face. But years before that, we never seen, the barking. So I would call it that. Now we got something to bark about. So let's get barking. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm okay with it. As long as nobody got hurt, nobody pulled a D'Angelo Hall, I'm okay with it. So but moving forward with the training camp. There's been some inactives, Christian Harris and whatnot. What are the details of the inactive players, and is there any ones that we should be worried about?
The only one that I would say might be a little bit of a concern is Christian Harris. Coach DeMeco Ryans haven't, revealed, what's going on with him. All we know as of right now, he's just dealing with, like a minor injury. But, the one thing about all of these players who have missed some time in training camp as of right now is the fact that Coach DeMeco Ryans did say dating all the way back to the very first day of training camp. And every single time, one of us asked him, hey, what about this player? What's going on with this player? He did say that everybody will be ready come week 1 of the regular season, which is basically all you can, definitely hope for. So, I would say the biggest concern is probably Christian Harris, because the last time we saw him was doing mandatory minicamp. He looked fine. And then, we take a break, come back, and he hasn't practiced as of right now. I know a lot of people have some concerns about Laramie Tunsil. However, you guys know he was battling through a knee injury through the entire 2023 campaign, had a knee procedure, cleaned that up a little bit, and he is getting back to full strength. Another guy that I saw some people talk about, Joe Mixon. Coach DeMeco Ryans, once again, did not reveal whether or not he's dealing with an injury. However, he did say that Joe Mixon should be back to practice pretty soon. And other guys that you've seen, miss 1 or 2 days, like Dalton Schultz, Nico Collins, it seems like the Texans have everybody on a load management type of schedule, especially considering that the Houston Texans did start training camp like a week and a half earlier than majority of the NFL. We all know it's because of the Hall of Fame game that's going to take place, I believe, next Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Because
can't come any sooner.
Look, I'm okay with the game. I'm just ready for Saturday to see Andre Johnson finally get inducted into the Hall of Fame. But, I say all that just say, Coach DeMeco Ryans did reveal that. I believe it was doing Tuesday's practice. He did reveal that, a lot of guys, we're going to continue to see them in and out. They're going to be on load management type of stuff. But I don't think out of all the guys who have missed times outside of Christian Harris, it's nothing to be concerned about.
Okay. And I want to ask you about that. Do you see them playing Mixon, Harris, or Tunsil in any preseason game?
No, especially Larry Tunsil. I mean, if anything, Joe Mixon, yes, probably the second to last, if I'm not mistaken. Christian Harris, probably the same thing, second to last. But the only reason why I say Joe Mixon will probably get some time on the field during preseason. He's new. He's going to still try to, establishing chemistry with the offensive line with CJ and stuff. So you might see him for let's say a drive or two. Same thing with Christian Harris, but a lot of the guys who, have been in and out of practice as of right now, i.e. Nico Collins, you're looking at guys and Dalton Schultz, you're looking at guys who have already established themselves, not only for the Houston Texans, but in this league. So, preseason, especially with the extra game that the Houston Texans have, is going to be a lot of the guys like British Brooks, a lot of guys like Gerard Jordan, a lot of guys like Johnny Johnson III, guys who are, we consider bubble guys, guys who spent the last year or two on the practice squad roster who are still trying to make the 53-man roster to have some type of role with this organization. It's going to be, majority of those type of players that you want to see, and most of the rookies as well.
And like Cam Akers kind of trying to make a spot on the team, right?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Coach DeMeco Ryans kept it very short and simple when we asked him about his acquisition on Monday. He said they just brought him in just to see if he can compete. And I will tell you, this running back room is starting to get a little bit interesting. I know that's not a training camp battle that a lot of people had their eyes on. I mean, it's easy. Joe Mixon is going to be the starter. Dameon Pierce is going to be RB number 2. And I could tell you guys, look, the 2 days that Joe Mixon has missed, Dameon Pierce it started to look like the Dameon Pierce that we all loved back in 2022. And that's what you want to see because, look, you guys know Bobby Sloyd. He is going to, utilize as much of what we see in San Francisco as much as possible. And how much he wants to utilize that rushing attack. And if Dameon Pierce can continue to showcase his growth and development and bouncing back from the down year that he had, and you already know what you're going to get out of veteran like Joe Mixon, especially considering that Joe Mixon is getting up there in age. So, you kind of want to load manage him in the season. You already know who your top 2 running backs going to be. However, starting with Darrell Gumbawale, looking at British Brooks, looking at Gerard Jordan, all 3 of those guys, especially Brooks and Jordan, all 3 of those guys have literally looked really good throughout every single day of training camp as of right now. They went out there, they're giving you something with their blocking. They're utilizing them in the passing game. They're utilizing them in the rushing attack. And that's why I was kind of cut off guard that they added Akers. And I'm like, okay, how in the world is he's going to fit? Now, I must say, I haven't seen Akers do much like actual 11-on-11, 7-on-7 play with the team. I know he's still trying to get back into game speed. I mean, this is a man that's coming off of not 1, but 2 Achilles tear in the span of 2 to 3 years. Yeah, I just want to talk to him just to see, how are you able to stay in a mental mindset to continue your career, because we all know how devastating 1 Achilles tear can be. He's coming off 2 in like a 3-year span. But, I haven't seen much out of Cam Akers as of right now, but that running back unit doing preseason, write those names down: British Brooks, Gerard Jordan, and of course, Darrell Gumbawale, who's they're probably going to keep him just to be a backup kicker as well. Right. But, those 3 guys is definitely, when you take a look at that running back room, that's definitely something that you guys need to make sure you keep your eyes on in preseason.
Kenneth, you got a question about training camp for for Coty before I talk to the next subject?
Yes. Have you been paying attention to Kenyon Green, and how do you think he's doing so far?
I love it. I love everything that I've seen out of Kenyon Green dating all the way back to OTAs, man. You know, the one thing that I would say about Kenyon Green is the fact that this young man, he went through a lot his first 2 years, as you guys know. And you guys follow Sarge as well, right? And Sarge literally just dropped a really good article, talking about, Kenyon Green's growth. He had an opportunity to speak to him one-on-one. So I encourage you guys to go check it out. And, I read that article and I'm watching Kenyon Green, and literally I understand a lot of people, kind of gave up on him in a sense. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of one of those people as well, because I'm looking at it from a standpoint, first 2 years, dating all the way back to his rookie season, he was never healthy. When he was on the field, he was literally your worst offensive lineman. And then you miss your whole entire second season. Look, that's a recipe for disaster. However, going all the way back to OTAs, when I looked at him take the field and I looked at the fact that he got himself in better shape, and I'm looking at him holding his own against that interior defensive line, holding his own against that entire defensive line, I'm telling you, man, Kenyon Green is going to be one of the guys that at the end of the season, everyone is going to be impressed about. That young man has literally took that year off, got himself in a better mental state, got himself, in a better, body shape. And you can tell everything that he's been doing, is getting back to the player that the Houston Texans thought that they was getting back in 2022. One of my favorite moments of training camp as of right now. I want to say, I believe Tuesday, we had an opportunity to talk to Titus Howard, and somebody asked him, what is the biggest growth that you've seen out of Kenyon Green? And he just said his maturity, just how the way he is carrying himself now. And that says a lot about the improvements that we've seen from that young man. And he's given this team something in the rushing attack as well.
Yeah. And how much stock do you put in all that happening because of the change of the number? Because he's not 59 anymore. Right? Is there any stock you put in that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a whole new.
I would say maybe 10%. I'll put it in there because look, numbers mean something. And after they hired Coach D'Amico Ryans, and everybody started with 59 and looking at camp, that number meant something. I say as of right now with the Houston Texans, there's certain numbers. It's like, man, you got to be on it if you wear it. 99, which of course nobody's gonna wear that. 8, nobody's gonna wear that. I would say 10 might be up there.
Yes, 10 is
it might be up there.
Can't touch 10.
I know y'all might look at me crazy.
No, I don't. No.
4. I mean, even though it's tarnished, hey.
I think that's why you don't touch it.
Exactly. Right. It's tarnished, but at the same time, and look, hopefully in the next 10 to 15 years, 51 and 7, their numbers up there as well. But 59 is definitely in there now.
Yeah.
I even say 23.
34 because 4 is the reason we here. 4 is the reason we got 70.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't touch it because of that.
You also got to pay respect to number 23. I think that's a number you can't touch either.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, see, with the whole Kenyon Green, I do believe, like you said, change of mindset. He got here when, let's face it, the Texans was in the toilet. It was a bad situation. We didn't know where we were going. We didn't know what it was, what the rebuild was going to look like. So when you come into there as a rookie, your mindset has to be right. So if you're on the mindset we losing, your confidence is low. You feel like you're not the same player. You feel like it's your fault we're losing. People are writing articles, media is saying, why don't we take you with that pick? And so you start second guessing yourself. So I feel like maybe Tunsil or the leaders, whoever on the offensive line got around him, build confidence in him, talk to him, build him up instead of breaking him down. And maybe that kind of like, hey, Kenyon Green says, hey, I'm on a winning team. We have this great quarterback that we believe will be a franchise just crazy, just amazing in the future. And we have something here. Let me get my mind right. Like you said, let me get my body right. Let me get my mind focused, learn what I got to learn. If I need to fix anything, my feet work, hand placement, let me fix that. And like you said, it shows. Even in the little clips you see, it shows. So like I said, I want him to be great. I want him to do good. I want him to, because people will say he might get traded. Hey, man, go out there and ball out. Prove everybody wrong and prove yourself right.
Yeah, I've been a big Kenyon Green supporter since day one. Because if he succeeds, then that's one less spot we have to worry about. That's one spot where we don't have to like, okay, what we're going to do here. But again, the best ability is availability, so he has to be on that field. So hopefully he be the next Nico Collins. Just has a breakout season. I'm good for it.
And I think he will, and I definitely think he will.
Yeah. But I'm glad you brought up Kenyon Green, Keno. Coty, now who has impressed you the most on this whole roster so far?
The guy y'all probably heard ever since the start of OTAs, and that's rookie Kamari Lassiter.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I was all about the Texans getting Kool-Aid. And knowing that he went 1 or 2 spots ahead of the Texans, and I remember when they drafted after the Saints drafted Kool-Aid, I was like, man, Nick, I know you love to trade, man. You couldn't just move up 1 or 2 spots. And you get Kamari. Kind of knew a little bit about Kamari. Of course, like everybody, you look at his 40 time, like, oh man, what's going on with that? And so I had some concerns, but man, when I tell you there's moments where he doesn't look like a rookie, it's remarkable just watching how fast this young man is developing. And look, there's moments where it's like, okay, that wasn't a good play. I'm pretty sure y'all saw the play today where Nico Collins looked like he was, I don't know, Allen Iverson or something. He just put him in a blender like that. Nice juke move. So, there's moments where you say, okay, that's just a vet getting the best of a rookie. However, the one thing that I love about Kamari Lassiter is the fact that he never backs down. And after after he made that mistake, after, Nico Collins got the best of him, the very next play, it was behind him. He did not care. He is not somebody that's going to mope around and be like, look, I messed up, and always looking over his shoulder. No, this young man has been the second best cornerback for the Houston Texans and one of the best defensive players 6 days in the training camp. And I'm watching him step up to guys like Nico getting past deflections. Step up to guys like Tank Dell, bodying him, messing him up in his routes, getting past deflections. And I've watched him on at least, I want to say 3 or 4 occasions, step up to and hold his own against Stephon Diggs, a guy, I don't know about you guys, but over the past decade, I have Stephon Diggs in the top 10 of receivers. Minnesota, Buffalo, and hopefully now here in the city of Houston. And I'm watching this guy who is a rookie who has yet to play a minute in the NFL hold his own against those receivers that we're looking at as one of if not the top in the league. That says a lot about that young man. And I just love his grind. I love his competitiveness. And I always go back to this. I was in Indianapolis, NFL Combine, and I was standing right next to Nick Caserio, where he said that their top priority is to get someone who can start opposite of Derek Stingley Jr. And first of all, that kind of shocked me because I was like, well, I guess that means Steven Nelson not coming back. But to him, most importantly, I was like, okay, who are you going to get? The veteran cornerbacks, they kind of passed their prime getting up there in age like Xavier Howard. And then I was like, okay, well, if you take a look at the draft, in my opinion, the best cornerback coming out the draft was Kool-Aid. Okay, you missed out on Kool-Aid. You got Kamari. I was like, okay, let's see what you got in him. And once again, looking back at my notes, OTAs, mandatory minicamp, rookie minicamp, and now 6 days in the training camp, this young man has been one of the best guys on the field, man. And that's what I've been impressed with the most.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you guys go to it's a website called Our Lads, and it shows you the depth chart, and then they're updated as I guess the year goes on. And I believe I think it was May or maybe June, I went and looked at it, and they had him, I believe, in the nickel position, and they had, I want to say it was Okuda in the cornerback 2 position. I was like, okay. I looked recently, and now they got Kamari cornerback. And so it's like, is that the cornerback too, or does the Texans believe that's the cornerback too? Is the website just put in there because they feel like the motion is going toward that way? And so, like you said, you see the clips of him just doing amazing, you know what I'm saying, coverage, crazy, knocking the ball out the receiver's hands, and like you said, for a rookie, it's like, wait, he's just a rookie doing this, and then you see him on the field, you know, trying to get the, you know, the insight and the knowledge of the veterans, and so I'm interested to see on day one against the Colts. Is he gonna be cornerback number 2?
I definitely think he will. I think I started giving him that honor after mandatory minicamp, but you know, watching the way he was able to hold his own against Stephon Diggs once again, I believe that was during Monday's training camp. I was like, yes, he's CB number 2, plain and simple.
Yeah, especially. I'm not saying they're going 100 full speed, you know, give them all 100, but they're not going like they would in a real game. Once the game starts, the pass rush will be there, the pressure will be there, so that's going to take a lot off of Stingley, Lassiter, the secondary, because that pass rush being there. So yeah, I can't wait to see all of it combined. Like, this has to be the most stacked roster we have ever seen in Texans history on the offense and defense.
Oh yeah, and I 100% agree. You know, there was a moment during mandatory minicamp. I'm looking at CJ take the field, and it was just the offense. They were just going through something. It was the first team, and I saw CJ take the field with Mixon, Dalton Schultz in the backfield, and your 3 wide receivers was Tank, Nico, and Diggs. And I was like, this got to be the greatest team that the Texans have ever had in franchise history.
I mean, and you can almost say NFL history. Like, this is like, I know a lot of people ain't scared of the Texans, but they better start getting scared. Like, this is a scary recipe. I'm glad you brought up Lassiter. We've seen that Petrie has been playing a lot of nickel, and there's been some rumors about maybe Justin Simmons signing. Is there any truth to this, or is it all hearsay?
I don't really know much about the Justin Simmons signing. I just go back to what Nick Caserio said during the first day of training camp last Thursday. You know, he basically came out and said, look, this roster isn't complete. And every single day they're going to go through this roster and see if there are certain positions that they can improve. Put it like this. At the start of training camp, I thought that the safety unit would definitely be an area of concern where you say, you know what, I have to improve it. I still feel that way to a certain extent. However, if they want to split that $18 million and utilize it to another position group, I will also understand it as well, because you have another, you know, rookie that's been, you know, flying under the radar a little bit in Kalen Bullock. He has looked pretty decent. I'm not saying that he's going to start, but just watching him get some burn with the first team. And as you mentioned, you know, them exploring putting Jalen Petrie in the box and stuff. It's just like, okay, you could kind of see they're literally probably, you know, doing their due diligence to make sure whether or not they're going to use their money in order to bring in another safety. Justin Simmons, I don't know if that's going to be him, but I wouldn't be surprised at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that goes back. I'm glad you said that about Petrie at the nickel, Matt, because I wanted to ask Coty, do you think that's more of he's a great blitzer and can make plays in the backfield, or is that more of we are afraid him back there covering?
I would say that he's a good blitzer, plain and simple. And I say that because I think some of the best games that we've seen out of Jalen over the last couple of seasons has been when he was utilized like that. And then also the one thing that I've noticed about Jalen Petrie, he had talked time and time again about controlling his aggression. And that's something that I really liked. And just watching him through these first 6 days of training camp, you can tell when he's out there on the field. I don't know about you guys, but there was moments last year where I was watching Jalen and I was like, there was moments where it seemed like he was just running around, you know? And I was just like, okay, something isn't clear. I don't know if it's the scheme or what. I mean, I'm not about to sit here and say that Lovie Smith, you know, scheme when he was a rookie was better utilized under under D'Amico Ryans. But I was like, something isn't clicking. But we had an opportunity to talk to Jalen Petrie doing mandatory minicamp, and he talked about one of the things that he had to learn this offseason was to control his aggression and to utilize his mind a lot more, because the young man is talented. Even in his down year, there was still moments where I was like, Jalen Petrie is still that guy. So yeah. I look at what he said, and I'm watching him during the first 6 days of training camp, and I'm looking at how Coach D'Amico Ryans are utilizing him, especially at that nickel position. And it seems like for him, everything is starting to come together. And I know, like I mentioned, the biggest comeback story this year is going to be Kenyon Green. But right after Kenyon Green, I think we're definitely going to be sitting here talking about the other comeback story in Dameon Pierce and Jalen Petrie, because Jalen Petrie has also looked good, and I love how the Houston Texans are utilizing him, especially as you just mentioned. He is a good blitzer. Some of his best games once again came, whether his rookie year or his sophomore season, some of his best moments and stuff came when they utilized him as that nickel, as a blitzer. And I look at that from a standpoint that, once again, this is a young guy who, look, maybe it was a mental thing that he was struggling with last year, especially considering that it was his second year in a second scheme. That messed him up. Knowing that he finally has some consistency and he has gotten smarter says a lot about the growth in that young man as well.
Yeah, because I don't want to say Lovie Smith's defense was just simple. Tampa 2, cover 2. Hey, that's your zone. Take care of your zone. And so he made a lot of plays in that in that system. But I agree with what you said. Last year, I feel like, I don't know if D'Amico was asking him to do too much, or if he was just overcompensating because Jimmy Ward was out a lot of games. So he felt like he had to make more plays to make up for the fact that Jimmy wasn't out there. But I do agree, having him in that blitzing unmatched, he makes plays. Granted, sometimes he dives and he doesn't get the tackle, but hey, you want that aggression at least to kind of mess up the play, break it up, trying to kind of like mess up their play in a sense of, hey, okay, now I got to go this way. Okay, yeah. Jalen over there, he breaking everything up, go the other way. So I'm interested to see the different schemes they have him in, because, like you said, when he's on the field, he can make plays. I don't want to say he's just out there doing nothing. He can make plays. Hopefully, they can put him in that nickel, and he can have some time in safety as well. Because, I mean, other than Jimmy Ward, I guess, because what was his name? Bullock? That's the rookie, right?
Kellen Bullock, he's the rookie. And like I mentioned, he's looked decent. I mean, he didn't look good as Kamara Lassiter, I gotta admit. But he's been decent and stuff. But I wouldn't say that he is somebody that you would feel comfortable, starting or getting major minutes come week 1 of the regular season. Which once again bring us back to how the Houston Texans will address the safety unit.
Okay. Yep. Because you gotta remember, Jimmy Ward, he's not no spring chicken. Right. He missed a lot of games last year. Hopefully he can stay more healthy this season. He
just gotta stay healthy, because you guys saw it. When he's available, he makes a difference. But man, he just gotta stay healthy.
Yeah. Kenneth, you got a question before we let Coty go?
I was actually gonna make a statement about Petrie. As far as I think some of the fans, and I'm one of the fans, the only thing I'm worrying about with him in the nickel is, can he really cover one-on-one? And I was wondering, when they do one-on-ones, is he covering receivers? Have you seen him do one-on-ones yet?
I seen him do a few, not too much, but I wouldn't necessarily say that will be a concern with Jalen. But it all has to do with how Coach D'Amico Ryans is going to utilize him. And like I said, I haven't seen him do too much like that as of right now, especially doing 11-on-11 play. But I know there is a reason why Coach D'Amico Ryans is experimenting with him like this. Now, what I would say is, I'm just waiting for the joint practice with the Los Angeles Rams, and I think that is going to be the day where we truly get a sense of how they're going to utilize Petrie for this upcoming season. Because whether it's the nickel, whether it's safety, he's going to have a better year than what we saw last year from that young man.
Okay. Well, fellas, any other questions for Coty before we let him go?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Great stuff.
Well, Coty, thank you for coming on. I did promise Crenshaw something. He wanted me to tell you that you look a lot like DJ Screw. I mean, that's an honor. I mean, he is a Houston legend, so that is an honor. But he just wanted me to tell you, you look like DJ Screw.
I appreciate that, my guy.
But Coty, why don't you tell everybody where we can find you on social media and what you got cooking, so that way we can support you.
You can follow me on both Instagram and X, but mainly on X at Coty Davis _24. Once again, that's Coty COTY DAVIS _24. Talking about numbers, I think in the next 10 years, 24 is going to be another special number here for this organization. For the guy that goes by the name of Derek Stingley Jr., another guy that's looked phenomenal throughout training camp. You can follow my work over at Texans, Sports Illustrated. Houston Texans. They changed up the name, so I'm still trying to get it, but Houston Texans Sports Illustrated. And also, I'm pretty sure you guys like the Houston Rockets as well. I'm on the beat for that team as well. You can follow all my work over at Sports Illustrated covering the Rockets as well. And as always, Locked On Texans on all your favorite podcast streaming services.
Real quick before we let you go, can we believe in the Great White Hope, or is he just a flash in the pan?
Reed Shepard?
Yeah.
That boy could ball.
That
boy could ball. I know there are moments where it's like, well, it's just some elite block. No, Reed Shepard could ball. I thought, put it like this, I thought that he was just going to be like, JJ Reddick, a guy that you just throw out on the perimeter, passing the ball time to time. He knocked down the timely three. That boy could ball. That boy could ball.
Yeah, I know it's about Texans, but he asked a record question, so I'm gonna ask a record question. Did they sign Fred VanVleet too fast? Should we move off on him?
No, and it goes back to something that you said earlier when we was talking about Kenyon Green, how when the Texans got him, it was a dumpster fire, and you need certain veterans to lay the groundwork to help these young players. And when you said that was probably arguably my favorite moment of this podcast, because a lot of people don't know. When you have a rebuilding team, and I cover two of them, the Rockets and the Texans, you need to have veterans both on the field and off the field, both on the court and off the court, to help these young guys. Because if you don't have them, they're just out there basically doing whatever. And that's when you get the 9-game losing streak, the 15 games losing streak. But when you have someone like Fred VanVleet, and here's the part, I know a lot of people in terms of the Rockets is going to be really excited to see, Reed Shepard, and, they're going to want to see him get minutes and all this other stuff. But I guarantee you one thing, if you like Reed Shepard now, the year that he's going to spend taking a step back and learning behind Fred VanVleet, who a lot of people say his skill set is similar to, in the next 5 years, you're probably going to get a better version of Reed Shepard, because he's going to have the opportunity to learn from a really good veteran like Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, I agree, because to be honest with you, I think Fred helped Jalen settle down a little bit.
Yeah, he helped the whole entire roster.
Because Jalen was a little wild when he got there. Fred, like, come on, man, let me talk to you for a second, little bro. So
you can't be hanging out with your homeboys like that no more, guy. All right, Coty, man. Well, thank you for coming on. We definitely have to do this again. Tell John we said hello, and y'all have a wonderful show, man.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for having me so much, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to still keep it going for a little longer. Guys, what else has been catching your eye at training camp? Kenneth, I'll start with you, brother.
Honestly, just watching guys get after it, really competing. And like Coty talked about Kamari, it's a good thing to see a rookie not think about his mistakes so much and just put it behind him. And, continue to push and keep going and go hard each and every play, and willing to learn, willing to grow. And the fact that people are saying he's cornerback 2 says a lot, because he's a rookie, and you have 2 guys that was drafted in the first round. Of course, they both had similar situations with the team. They was drafted 2 and then got traded to different teams, and they was okay, good. But of course, we wasn't expecting him to come in and be cornerback 2. Some people saying, man, should we hit up somebody and try to get another cornerback on this team, or should we just see how it goes? And to see people saying Kamari is looking like he's cornerback too, man, I'm excited. I'm actually can't wait to go to the practice on Friday and, you know what I'm saying, see it with my own eyes, you know what I'm saying, live and action.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And it goes back to what Coty said about earlier. You were saying how he feels the defense is getting the better part of the offense in the training camp. And that's interesting. But I also believe if you look at this team right now, the offense is solidified. You know, everyone knows who the number one receivers, who's the starting receivers, who's starting running back, who's starting offensive line, who's QB1. So they're out there, you know, finessing. They're learning the plays. They're going through the motions of making sure they got everything down crisp. The defense is full of dogs who want that spot. That defense is not solidified. That defense does not know who cornerback number 2 is. That defense don't know who their starting safeties are right now. They don't know who their linebackers are right now.
Who the nickel is, right?
Set on that defense is the 2 edge rushers and Derek Stingley, I guess Jimmy Ward. I feel like those are only 4 positions that are really solidified right now. And Aziz, the linebacker. I feel like those are the only ones that are solidified. You know they're the starters. That defense is flying around, trying to make plays, trying to make this team so that way they can put themselves on video and they can go through when the coach is going through the practice videos. They say, "Hey, yep, that's the guy." So they're trying to get after it. They're trying to get after it. The offense is, you know, Bobby Slogan's finesse. D'Amico Ryans' physical. So of course the defense is gonna have their way with a finesse offense. But you know, it's good to see on the videos and the clips that I've seen so far at training camp. I think the offense is gelling perfectly. You see them, you know, having fun. The defense, they dancing. The energy is just up. The training camp, everyone's there. It's packed, jam packed. The city is behind the team. It's beautiful, man. I think this season is probably going to go down as one of the top seasons in Texans history, just from the energy and love that the team is getting right now.
Yeah, we're back, right? Like we're finally back on the map. Like this is the time to be a Texans fan. What's kind of pissing me off because a lot of them disappeared during the dark ages. Well, I mean, I get it, but you know,
yeah,
if you can't be with us in the bad times, don't be with us in the good times. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That's why I couldn't get a ticket this year. Sold out in minutes.
Right.
All right, I was at work. People got to work. Okay, people can't be attached to their computers all day. All right,
right. But my thing, like my biggest takeaway is you know, people like Coty and Chancellor, they all on Twitter, you know, they at the end of practice they'll say, "Well, the offense and defense had some good reps, but I'll give it to the defense today, or I give it to the offense today." Well, like Coty said, the defense has been coming out, and everybody's like, "Oh man, CJ Stroud, sophomore slump. Oh, this offense. Oh, Stephon Diggs is the diva. Oh, guys." Bo, you said it perfectly, right? Like the offense knows what they are. They know their identity. So what a perfect time to try things you're not going to try in the game. Let's do something different. And this offense is easily top 5 offense, right? Like who do you put ahead of us? The Chiefs, the 49ers, the Lions. That's probably it, right?
Yeah, Lions. Yep. I guess if you love the Dolphins, you put Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Tua, but I agree. It's a top 5 offense in my eyes. I don't know what to say.
So if your defense is beating the top 5 offense, why are you mad?
Exactly. Man, that defense is going to go crazy. The defense is going to go crazy.
Exactly. That's what we want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Yep. We don't want to hear defense getting toe up in practice and, you know what I'm saying, CJ having the ball and just doing things and you know what I'm saying, magic happening. We don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? We want the competitiveness going on. We want the competition going on. We want to see that. And that's why, like, the fight, I'm not going to lie, first when I found out, I'm just like, bro, like, come on. But at the same time, it's like, man, you want the competition going on. You know what I'm saying? As long as at the end of the day, as long as they squash it, you know what I'm saying, man, I was tripping. You know what I'm saying? As long as that's going on, that's a great thing because that's only going to make them better and grow and come together even more. So, yeah, man.
I'm telling y'all, it's hot in Houston. The humidity, the pads. You be seeing things. He thought Dalton Schultz was doing the Cowboys when he saw Dalton Schultz. He didn't know. Stingley didn't know. Right?
Man, you step outside, you sweat 1 second in Houston right now, man. It's crazy.
Well, and everybody said as soon as all that settled, they went right back to practice. So it seems like everything's like we said. If you ever played a sport, you know tempers get flared no matter
Oh,
practice,
Yep.
a game. Like you can't stop that.
yeah.
Like that's being a man. Like you're
Yes.
going to be 100 whatever you do.
Mhm.
And like I said, like you want to see that from your guys.
Yes.
Like, oh, you talking shit to my boy? All right, well here we go. I don't give a fuck if you're on the same team or not. Like you know what I mean? Like you
The
want to see
legend.
that.
The legend, Andre Johnson. We will never forget that moment, and we honestly would have never expected him to do that. So I can't. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The cornerback from the Titans. Like nobody saw that coming. Yeah, nobody saw that coming. But you know what I'm saying. It's good to see that though.
Yeah, it's like Matt said. It's like you've been going against the same people over and over again for weeks. Maybe I guess if you can count the mini count, whatever, how long it's been. You get tired of going against your own teammates, so it gets a little rough. I mean, emotions go a little high. You just ready to go get somebody else, and they'll get that chance next Thursday, depending on I don't know who's playing. And I don't want to jump the gun because I know we have an episode before that game. So it's interesting to see how they come out and play in that game.
Yeah, I'm just tired of hearing the CJ Stroud sophomore slump. Like guys, give it a break, y'all.
Look.
Yeah,
we gonna hear that.
I know we are, bro. I know we are. But you know, the same people that are saying this are the same ones last year when he was throwing interceptions in training camp. They're saying, "Oh, he bust. We should have got him a second. We should have got Will Levis." Oh, like
no,
they were saying that against the Ravens, against one of the top defenses in the game, first game of the season. Oh yeah, they picked the wrong person.
Yeah,
why?
Yeah. We're gonna have haters gonna go. It's gonna go up even more.
Yes.
Like we think that people was hating on us, you know what I'm saying, a couple of years ago. It's only finna go up. People always talking about CJ Stroud and how he's being cocky, even though it's really confidence, but they saying he's being cocky. So the first time he threw a pick this season, here come the sophomore slump. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do what they do. I don't even care what they say. I'm not even going to waste my time going back and forth with people on Twitter, the Colts fans, the Titans fans, the Jaguars fans.
The Texans fans, bro. Like,
even them. Some of them, they not even real fans, if we being honest. Some of them not even real fans.
I know they became fans in 2024. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not always see shows, you know what I mean? Like,
But to be fair, he's I feel like that's kind of why I like that they scheduled the tough games toward the end of the season. Because you go against the Colts, Bears, Vikings, and Jaguars the first 4 games, you can come out there firing and have great 4 games, and then that whole sophomore slump could be out the door quick, fast, in a hurry.
Well, and that's the good thing about what Nick Cassera did, right? Like he got us weapons for CJ to not have their sophomore slump. Like he got a veteran presence in Stephon Diggs. He got a hell of a defense in Danielle Hunter and Danico Autry, and what Coach just said, Kamari Lassiter. Like, okay, he throws the interception. Okay, cool. Move on. Our defense is going to take care of it. Back in the past, when we did throw an interception and our defense was ass, like, oh man.
Yep.
Or Kenneth's boy, Davis Mills, where he kept the defense on the field. He know it would wore him out. So it's a different team.
Definitely.
If he does have a sophomore slump, this team still can be 11-12 team with the playoffs.
Yep. And I truly believe that. And it's been a while. I guess you can count the 2012, 11 team, whichever one it was, that had a balance of a good defense and a good offense. I feel like this has been a while since we had this, where we saying, hey, we're going to this season not saying, God, this defense got to help us throughout the year, or man, this offense got to help us throughout the year. You can go in this season saying, hey, it's a well-balanced team, both ends of the ball. Who knows who's going to win a game? Maybe the defense might win a game. Maybe offense might win a game. It's so many playmakers on both sides. You never know what will happen this season. So it's interesting to see. So I can't wait. This, like Crenshaw said, this is the most, for as I know, this is the most anticipated season in a very, very long time, or maybe ever. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, and maybe y'all agree with me, and maybe not, but to me, last year where CJ had that streak of not throwing interceptions, I think that kind of hindered him, right? Like he wanted to keep it going. He didn't want to make that mistake and throw an interception. Well, that needs to go out the window. Like the top of the guys, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, they all have what 10, 11, 12 interceptions a season. That's okay. As long as you have 40, 50 touchdowns, that's okay, guy. All right. Don't worry about it. And I think that's where when we got a guy like Danielle Hunter and Alcides out here, where they say, okay, man, we got this. Go ahead. You know, you threw a pick. Don't worry
Let it
about
fly.
it. We got it.
Let it
I
fly.
think that's going to happen.
We got you.
Right. Absolutely.
And
Kenneth, you got anything?
good thing about him is he, like, once he throw an interception, learn from it, keep it pushing. Like he said after that Cardinals game, I believe, when he talked about Steph Curry continue to shoot, he said, Steph ain't going to stop shooting. I'm not going to stop doing it. I'm not going to stop slinging it. So him having that mindset as a rookie, and then, of course, it's only up from here. Like, he grown and got more confidence now. Definitely not worrying about if he throw a pick. He gonna probably tell defense, hey, get it back for me. I got y'all. No worry, I got y'all. Y'all got my back, I got y'all back type thing. So the man, this is an exciting time. Like this is an exciting time. Like, really can't wait. Preseason almost here. It's going to be lit, and yeah, this season's gonna be rocking. Can't wait. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and it's vice versa, right? Like if the defense gives up a long touchdown, a big play touchdown, CJ Stroud will say, "Hey, man, don't worry, we got it. We're gonna go back and we're gonna get those points back."
Mm-hmm.
So like Bo said, this has to be the most greatest balanced team there is. And guys, we got a special guest coming in. We got Mr. Ruben. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, boys?
You missed all the fun.
Yeah, no. I was tuned in.
So you've been there at training camp. What's your takeaways, bro?
It's kind of hard to get a good grasp when the rain's there. I feel like the rain really, throws off a lot of the plans. Like yesterday, it rained pretty heavy when the players were walking out the tunnel. So it was just a lot of red zone work and a lot of punt team drills. Today, it was a little bit of situations towards the end, but still, like, I'm not taking a risk with, my guys once it's raining. But I like what I see from Kamari Lassiter. The only thing is he just cannot catch the ball. And, this is something that I've been warning all my people about. Like, just get ready. Like, I'm over 3+ interceptions dropped this year for him. And, it's pretty bad how his hands are. However, I'll take him being a lockdown corner. He's a dog. Kalen Bullock, catches my eye too. The dude is like, he's huge. And it's like, man, I'm older than this guy. And this dude is just towering over me like a behemoth of a man. You could tell that when Stephon Diggs is out there, dude, that's all you pay attention to. And Landry Locker said it himself. He's like, when he's out there, like, as soon as he sees Diggs, your eyes go straight there. And it's hard not to do that, right? You forget that you have to watch the other position groups, because when you see an all-pro guy, it's like every time you turn and see Stephon Diggs, you're reminded that, yeah, this was the big acquisition to get us to the AFC Championship, get us to the Super Bowl. And I had said this yesterday, and it was the same thing today. Like, normally when the players are on the sideline, of course, they're paying attention, but they're also joking around, like, kind of hurdle together. You haven't seen that the past 2 days. These dudes are just consistently watching what's going on the field, talking to each other. The only dudes who are having fun are the guys who are not practicing. So, like yesterday, Nico Collins and John Minchie were having a good time, just, joshing around. But everyone else is locked in, man. And, the crowd, its expectations are high. Expectations are the same. It's not just us, right, who think, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. It's them as well. So, dude, it's fun. It definitely feels like a business trip when you go to. The Texans have done a fantastic job of putting it together and making it entertaining for families and stuff like that. So, other than that, bro, I just can't wait. We have a game in a couple of days. And, next thing you know is week 1 against Indianapolis.
And that could be even better. Ruben, we talked about the elephant in the room already, but I want to get you were there. What's your take on the whole shoving match that took place today?
I don't care. I don't
Right.
care. And like,
That's pretty much what we're.
yeah, like people need to understand that like the game we're playing is barbaric, is physical, and you're literally trying to kill the guy in front of you. And we've seen it in other sports, right? People get frustrated when they consistently go against the same competition, right? We've seen it in the NBA finals, right? Or playoffs, games 4 or 5, they're always chippy. And we started training camp early because of the Hall of Fame game next week. So of course these guys are gonna get frustrated easy. I didn't like how everyone was already saying, you see what happens when Stephon Diggs on your team. That's when I did get kind of upset in a weird way, which is crazy because he just got here on the H. But it's just like, dude, like he goes for a pass over the middle, gets lit up. It happens. Dalton Schultz gets up and says some words. Now, if you remember at last year's training camp, Dalton Schultz got knocked out by Jimmy Ward. And Dalton Schultz was out for a significant amount of time. And it's crazy how it was close to like literally like a year apart. It was on my camera. Like I had photos of Dalton Schultz on the ground like this. So Dalton Schultz is like, oh, hey, I remember when that happened to me. Like, however, that's Stephon Diggs. Like, dude, chill the fuck out. And when you look at the video again, Derek Stingley comes from like on the other side of like the field. So he must have been headhunting. I wonder what was said, but you see Aziz Al-Shaair following Stingley. You see number 13 in white. I'm not sure who that is following them as well. So it was crazy, but if you are making this out of context, then I really don't know why. We haven't had drama all year. This is the first type of drama, that we got. Yeah, for the clicks and views, and that's kind of frustrating when you see it like that because that's not what that's not what we do here in Houston.
Yeah.
And to the people who are like, oh, this is what happens. If one practice destroys the culture of your team, bro, do you even have a culture to begin with?
Right.
Nice.
Right. Well,
It's
and that's why I
crazy.
tell these guys, like, you want to kind of see that from your team, right? Like you want to see that gritty. You want to see that.
I don't want to see sneaking though. That's what I don't want to see.
I give you that. I give you that. But
I'm fine with them going head up, but Stingley,
right.
I love you, fuck with you, but you kind of gave him a cheap shot. So
Yeah,
it's like
you was there today. Did they dap up? Did they kiss and make up? Did you see it?
Nah, bro. Nah. and then if you notice, the Houston Texans, the players didn't talk afterwards. Right? Normally we get the YouTube live, and we didn't get that today. So I wonder how it's gonna translate. I'm pretty sure the next practice is gonna be very chippy. I think they're off tomorrow, but it's not something I think translate towards the season. But hey, it was offense versus defense, and we've seen fights before, right? Remember when Cam Newton beat the hell out of Josh Norman whenever DeAndre Hopkins literally broke D'Angelo Hall's ankles? Like, stuff happens.
Even Jimmy Ward versus DeAndre.
Jimmy Ward and DeAndre. So I really do think it was Dalton Schultz, like remembering what the hell happened from last year.
Yeah, you just made me because I was there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was there. I remember that.
We
man.
were like,
everybody was like, "Ooh," and then he was laid out for a little minute. So yeah, dang, I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
like maybe he kind of like remembered it. Like, hold on now, like come on, man, chill out.
It's kind of one of the things where like, okay, Derek Stingley and Dalton Schultz last year. Y'all was one of the most fragile people in the world. Why y'all out here pushing each other and stuff like that? Everyone stay up.
They're swarming,
stay off
bro.
the ground. Okay, no unnecessary hits. We need y'all all games, which probably impossible. But we need y'all as many games as possible this season. The last thing we need y'all to do is to hurt yourself on some horse playing. That's all I gotta say.
Well, before we head out, Ruben, who has impressed you the most so far this training camp?
Who has impressed me just by looking at them, just the way they look physically? Lonnie Johnson. I mean, this dude just looks absolutely jacked, and I'm like, bro, like you didn't
where
look
was
like
this?
like when you're in Houston. Dude, I really like Cam Akers. He's been looking good. He doesn't look like a guy who tore 2 Achilles and He got reps with the ones. He's been working with the twos. And just 3
RB2?
days ago, this dude was jobless. So we still don't know what the hell is going on with Joe Mixon. I think someone told me today that on Cody Stutes' YouTube channel, shout out to Cody Stutes, that he said it was a low or just an injury, but don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, in the wise words of Crenshaw, this is the worst part of the show because at the end, Ruben, I'll start with you. Where can we find you and what you got cooking that way we support you?
Oh man, just go 713 Houston Sportcast, man. Drop daily Houston Texans content. Trying to get to 15K subscribers by the start of the NFL season. It's gonna be hard, but we're gonna get there. Also drop on Instagram and TikTok. Happy to be here, man, and excited for the future, man. Season's gonna be real fun.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is. Kenneth, what about you, brother?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Messenger_Keno, Instagram, YouTube, Kenneth the Messenger. And yes, sir, y'all continue to support the Texas Fan Battle podcast, man. It's only up, and man, exciting time to be a Texans fan, man. It's gonna get lit. It's already lit, honestly. Can't wait to go to the practice Friday.
All right, Mr. Bo Diggity, what about you, brother?
You know the vibes, man. We everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, YouTube, at Bo Diggity 713. A lot of content coming when the season starts. Like everybody said, waiting for the season, man. Can't come here. Come on now. Let's hurry it up. Come on, September. Let's hurry up.
And make sure you follow our brother that couldn't make it, Crenshaw, at Fifth Word Crenshaw everywhere. You follow me at A1 Day 1 Texans. I got an article that's about to drop on fanbattlesports.com about how CJ Stroud is the real deal and everybody should quit quit hating on him because of the comments this offseason. So make sure you do that. And then also, we're at 15K. We're trying to get to 5K. So
Just
make
do
sure
it.
you hit that subscribe button. We're halfway there. Hit the like button. It's free. And make sure you follow us everywhere at Texans Fan Battle. You know where the deal is. Until next week, guys, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you then.
Yo, check it out, we rapping for the Texans. Put Willie in, Crenshaw, Reds, we flexing. Houston rap style, we banging the heat. Talking Texas football.